Long ago, there was a young man who believed that success did not always start with big opportunities. Sometimes it started with something very small. In his case, it started with just $1. Many people around him believed that money was the most important thing to start a business. They believed that without capital, connections, or support, success was almost impossible. But this young man had a different mindset. He believed that creativity, patience, and determination could turn even the smallest opportunity into something bigger. One day, he looked at the single dollar in his hand and asked himself a simple question: what can I do with this? Instead of spending it on food or something temporary, he decided to invest it. He went to a small market and bought a few apples. The apples were cheap, but he saw potential in them. He cleaned the apples carefully and went to a busy street where many people passed every day. Then he started selling the apples for a slightly higher price. It was not a big profit, but it was something. By the end of the day, he had made a few more dollars. To many people, that might not sound impressive, but to him, it meant everything. It proved that he could multiply what he had if he stayed patient and consistent. The next day, instead of spending the money he earned, he reinvested it. He bought more fruits and continued selling them. Day after day, his small business slowly grew. Weeks passed, and the profits became bigger. Soon he was able to buy more products to sell. What started with just apples slowly turned into a small fruit stand. People in the neighborhood began to notice him. They saw a young man working early in the morning and staying late in the evening. They admired his dedication and his discipline. But success was not easy. Some days were very slow. Some days he barely sold anything. There were moments when he felt tired and discouraged. Many people told him that his dream was unrealistic. They laughed and said that selling fruits would never make him rich. Some even advised him to give up and find a normal job. But he refused to quit. Instead of listening to the negative voices, he focused on improving his business. He studied what people liked to buy. He improved how he displayed his products. He learned how to speak to customers in a friendly and respectful way. Slowly, more customers began to trust him. Months later, his small fruit stand had grown into a bigger market stall. He started selling vegetables, drinks, and other items people needed every day. Years passed, and the young man continued expanding his business. What started with $1 had now turned into multiple stores. Eventually, he opened a large grocery store, then another one, and another one. His determination and discipline transformed his small idea into a successful business empire. People who once laughed at him were now surprised by his success. They wondered how someone who started with almost nothing could achieve so much. But the truth was simple. He did not focus on what he did not have. He focused on what he could do with what he had. His story became an inspiration to many people. It reminded them that success does not always require a perfect start. Sometimes success begins with a small step. Sometimes it begins with courage. Sometimes it begins with just $1. Before we continue, if you enjoy stories like this that inspire you to believe in your dreams, make sure you subscribe to Story by Mayor. On this channel, we share powerful stories about success, determination, and real-life lessons that can motivate you to keep moving forward. Now back to the story. The young man eventually became known as one of the most successful businessmen in his city. But whenever people asked him how he achieved success, his answer was always the same. He would smile and say, "I simply started with what I had." He believed that many people fail not because they lack opportunity, but because they are waiting for the perfect moment to start. But the perfect moment rarely comes. Success often belongs to those who take action, even when the conditions are not perfect. This story carries a powerful message. You do not always need a lot of money to begin something great. You do not always need powerful connections. Sometimes, all you need is the courage to start small and the patience to grow step by step. Every great success story in the world started somewhere. Every successful business started as a small idea. And every dream becomes possible the moment you decide not to give up. If this story inspired you, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs motivation today. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to Story by Mayor for more inspiring stories that remind us that even the smallest beginnings can lead to extraordinary success. Because sometimes, the biggest journeys in life begin with the smallest step.